Hello teacher, my name is Athitaya Mekjan. My student number is 1039. So today I'm gonna present you about my spatial learning. It have two parts. Part one is like speak and part two is learning report. So I gonna talk to you about speaks first. You know, in this time in speaks I got level B1.2, but I think it's not different from B1.1 because in many units I find a lot of old sentences that I ever find before. Uh, just like sorry, I don't remember about the sentence, but I find it in many times in many units in that it's not one times, it's less than two or three times that I find this sentence in the each sentence. So I think it's in this time speak is not too difficult for me because I ever said this before. So but I will talk to you about what about speaks teach me in this time. In this time, speak take me to do or understand about how to use in or at or a preposition, or how to use which, who, which, whom, where, like that. Because I can find a sentence about put where, who, which in the blank. So I don't want to talk to this part too much because I think this is not different from the last semester. So I want to talk to you about learning report because in the last semester we learned three sections, right? Vocabulary, grammar, and reading. So in this time we learn four: vocabulary, grammar, reading, and speakings. So speaking section is very fun, so I love it too much. And okay, I want to talk to you about vocabulary first. In this time I learn with a new books, but I think vocabulary is not have a lot of new information or new knowledge that much because it's not difficult for me to complete the sentence in the example, yeah, in the exercises, or to put the word in the blank because it's not too difficult to complete it. But I don't like to do vocabulary section because I think this is not too fun at all. But I can do it. So I want to talk to you about grammar section. Grammar section, I don't like this section very much. This is my opinion because I don't like to do anything like this because I don't want to complete a sentence like this. In grammar section, it's had a lot of sentence that I need to correct the sentence, and that I need to think what this sentence is about. It's like some sentence is like imperative sentence, some sentence is like imperative negative sentence or elementary, just like that. I need to think what are kind of this sentence. So I don't like it, sorry. But but this section is difficult, right? But I gain a lot of new information and new of knowledge very much. I gain a lot of new information, so I can use it with the classes, with many classes that I learned in this semester. So I think this is very useful for me. And okay, that's that. I will talk to you about the reading section. Reading section at the last semester is my favorite section. So in this time it's not. I love speaking more than this. But I don't talk to this in this time. I will talk to you about reading first. In reading section is have a lot of stories that I have to read, and some of story is a legal legend legion or legal. It's a legion, just like that. It's a legion because um, the story is wrote about the history of a man or a woman. So it's had a lot of information to know about it. So in this time, I will read about the story to you for an example. Okay. Uh, this story is named Illness and Medicine. For the past few days, John had had some difficulty breathing. He was 30 years old and it was a bit old for someone of his age to have these symptoms. Maybe if he was smoking, things would make more sense, but John had never smoked a cigarette in his life. He decided to go to see his doctor about it. Luckily, he was able to schedule an appointment that very week and get himself checked out. At the doctor's office, there was a considerable waiting period before you could be seen by the physician. Physicians. John brushed the book to read in the waiting room, but he found it hard to focus for very long. Given his condition, after 20 minutes, he started to get a stifling headache in anticipation of such a scenario. He kept over the counter pen reviver in his car. Following a quick trip and back, he washed down the field with water from the water fountain and took a big sigh of relief. The nurse called John back to room 107 and did some routine checkup procedures. She took his blood pressure, measured his age and weight, and asked about his family's history of health problems. John was fortunate enough to not have any hereditary health issues. There was no heart disease, cancers, diabetes, or autistic to worry about it. The nurse also asked about any and all current drugs he was taking, but the reply that he doesn't take any medication. After John's information was recorded, the nurse left the examination room and told him the doctor would be with him shortly. Just 2 minutes later, he was finally face to face with the man who could help him in no time. Dr. Spetzel was what his name, and he was as friendly as could be. The two chatted about John's breathing issue, and John went into more detail about his condition. Chest pains were occurring throughout the day, but there were no heart palpitations. There was a little coughing, but no wheezing. The doctor placed his stethoscope. Sorry. The doctor played his stethoscope on John's chest and asked him to take a couple of deep breaths. With a few subtle note, it appears Dr. Spetzel had reached a final diagnosis. It was asthma. He said was common for adults to develop asthma and not just children. An inhaler would immediately curb his symptoms, but it was medication he would be required to take for the rest of his life to keep his symptom at bay. Carrying his prescription from Dr. Spetzel, John headed toward the pharmacy to receive his inhaler. He dropped it off and the customer service desk, then started to wander around the store. It would be some time until his prescription was filled, so he browsed the various medicine on the storage shelf. He saw tons of products to treat colds, allergies, and the flu. Allergy and the flu. There were even over-the-counter treatment for constipation and diarrhea. The pharmacy called out to John, for it was time to pick up his prescription and head back home. While out in his car in the parking lot, John took his first dose and instantly felt much better. It's become scientific it's become significantly sorry it's become significantly easier to breathe, and his trade pants subsidies. He was grateful for the miracle of modern science and medicine. Throughout the ordeal, it occurred to John how important his health and body were to him. Being in a constant state of bad health would make for a very poor quality of life. His diet would be the first place to start making improvement. So, this is about my reading. And now I want to talk to you about a speaking section because I love this so much. You know, just like I have said to you before, I have a roommate. So when I do this section, I will do it with my friends and we try to answer about the question. But it looks so funny, but it's so interesting. You just like in the book of this section is have a picture. So in the picture have a question. Just is 10 question is maybe 10 question or more than that. But when I asked her about the question, her try to answer my question, it looks so funny. Really, it looks so funny because Cheese and me are not good at grammar or I don't know my answer is correctly or not, but I think she is understand what I want to say to her, or and I understand what she want to say to me. It's very funny and I love to doing this section very much. So just I want to tell you about my friends and I is not. Oh yeah, I want to say this section is very useful for me, because this section is can practice my pronunciation and is practice my skill to speaking in a real life. It's not true at all, but the person that I talk to will understand what I want to say because I practice to answer about the daily question in this time. So, and this is about the speaking section that I talk to you. And finally, thank you, teacher. Thank you to try to understand my pronunciation and my word, because I know it looks so weird because I don't good at the grammar, or I don't have a good skill on talking to other person. So I thank you to you so much. And finally, teacher, thank you for listening to me. It's what a pleasure to being here today. Thank you so much.